plan at the moment. So that's it.
Great.
All right.
Yes, sir.
My name is Macaulay Kalu. I'm a policy advisor with the African Union Commission, General Commission, but more especially with the Citizenship and Diaspora Directorate, which is CIDO. Focus on security, youth, project as well as the diaspora. I'm also the CEO of MOCA Strategy Limited, which is a consulting and strategy company. 10-year goal. There's a project we're currently doing that I'm leading for the continent, and that is to create about 1 million jobs across the 54 countries. So I'm leading that project. And though, because of the models that have been put in place, I see that as doing 1 million per country, because it can be automated. Because if something is working, it can easily be automated. So that's what I'm currently pursuing right now. And as a matter of fact, the project is just hearing what you were saying. We were just looking at each other based on what you were saying, based on the schools and all that. So yes, what we're looking at is actually in the billions of dollars. It's a lot of money. So I could say, based on where we are right now, we're looking at least an average of $5 billion, based on some things that have been put in place.
So $5 billion
$5 billion.
in 10 years.
Yes.
Okay, next question.
See
your
what
husband?
we're doing. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, whatever he said. Okay, nice meeting you guys.
She's the boss because she says no, then there's a problem.
Okay, you're all welcome, and please, if you have not ordered, feel free to order your meal. I'll be taking their order. So while some of you are taking your order, so what I have here is my own vision, which is I have a 50-year goal plan, and then I've decided to break mine into smaller pieces. So one of them is Vision 2035, which will expire in 13 years. I'm doing 200 estates, right? Minimum of 50 acres. And then we're going to be having 25,000 houses. And then the goal, the last time I did, the finance team came up with a figure as of now. It's going to cost us about $20 billion, right, to achieve that particular goal. It's an investment goal because real estate is investment, right? So we have somebody here also who wanted to own 50 acres. That's the investment goal. Somebody wants to have hospital owned by her, right? Yourself. Somebody wants to have a brokerage firm. That's yourself. You want to own a... That's brokerage.
Yeah, so it's on more of a larger scale. So if it's on a website where people can just still brokerage, that's fine.
It's still property brokerage,
yeah.
Right? So, and then somebody here wants property. Everywhere. Yes. So I said this person wasn't specific because you have to be specific. Every investment goal has to be specific. So not just property everywhere. and then also our fashion business. What's the specific goal? What would be the what of your fashion business in the next 10 years? Okay. Somebody also wanted apartments, 5 apartments in Dubai, 3 mini estates, and then we have somebody's goal, $20 million, hopefully more than that. That was you, sir. Right? Then real estate, and logistics, that's Mr. Rumolui. Again, that's not specific. What would be the what, or how do we measure that real estate and logistic business? So it has to be specific, right? And then we have $5 billion project across Africa, creating 1 million jobs. So basically, one of the things that I just want to share with us, then I can get your input. Like I said, this is just a roundtable dinner. We're just talking, we're learning from each other. And I would love to hear from you as well, your own vision, what has worked for you when it comes to investment. So for me tonight, I just want to share with us on envisioning your investment goals, right? Creating the vision, creating the goal, and pursuing them. So first step, like I've said earlier, is you need to be specific as to exactly where are you going. In my own case, it's specific. I want to have 200 estates. I want to build 25,000 houses there. The deadline is 2035. The last time I did, what will it cost me? It's going to cost $20 billion. So it's important to have that kind of, detail. Do your analysis, know what's going to cost you, know the price points, know the time deadline of this particular vision that you have. But the second thing that I'll advise us to do tonight, because I realize that why many vision lack passion, is there is no why behind it. So why must I, make all this kind of money? Whose life will be touched? What will change? Right? Personally, extended family, right? Non-extended family, nuclear family, in the continent or across the globe. So because many of our vision does not have the why that is outside of us, guess what happened? The initial hunger will be survival. So once I've made enough for me and my family, do you see that? And this is one of the biggest reasons why we have not produced our own Elon Musk. We've not produced our own Jeff Bezos. We've not produced our own Bill Gates. Right? Because what took people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates to be where they are has nothing to do with just me and my family. I hope we all understand this. The whole vision got beyond them. We've had maybe a Dangote, okay? We've had maybe Dangote, really, if I want to put somebody in that class. Maybe Dangote. Welcome, sir. So maybe Dangote, if I want to put anybody in that class, honestly, from African continent, we're struggling. You see how we're already struggling to find people that are thinking big, their business, their investment, big. And when I say big, big. Okay? And the reason usually is because most of us, because of where we're coming from, the initial goal is survival. Can I make enough for me and my family, for me to be able to take care of my loved ones, for me to be able to take care of everyone? Now, let me tell you what's the danger of that kind of small goal. The family goal always shifts, right? Always shifts. So I give you an example. In my own case, I started, it was one man. Later I got married. Then I have my first baby. Then before you know, school fees, you know what I'm talking about. Then later, I remember I used to travel to the US and I back. Okada men, motorbike in Nigeria, will be telling my wife while she's coming from work that your guy has returned from US. Literally, I was becoming like the most successful guy in the entire, because it was a suburb that everybody knew. I remember one day, in fact, some thieves, burglars came into the house. Of course, we had to move. moving to a new environment created the new problem. Because now the cost of tuition, where we're coming from, was like 10% of the new place we had to move in. Because if I remember the first night where I live, I peeped into my neighbor's, garage, and the cheapest car he had was bigger, was like 10 times the worth of my only car. So I knew, yes, we have entered trouble. Okay, now the bill started going up. Again, we grew. How to move again? Security issue. To Banana Island. Same thing. My neighbor in Banana Island literally parks in front of my own house because the security he locks he has is more than 10, and I'm not exaggerating. Not his own car. Okay. Oh, again, the tuition fee in Ikoyi now, right? It's like my house rent where I was coming from, tuition fee, everything put together is now the tuition fee alone. Yeah, yeah, it's a good challenge, and for me, the reason why it's not even a challenge was because I wasn't running a family goal. I'm telling you the danger of when we run, let me and my family just be okay. Because what then happens is that at some point, the goals change. Sometimes for some people, it's that the children have to study abroad. Now the cost of sending them to Harvard, and maybe they are now so brilliant. Now they want to go to school, they want to go to Harvard. Before you know it, the cost of that tuition just make a mockery of the entire vision in terms of if I can only have this amount, I'm okay. If I can only make this amount, I'm good. So I'm saying what you want to do to overcome all that is to have a bigger, investment goal that is thinking of not just you and your family and your loved ones, but it's thinking big, it's thinking continental, it's thinking national, it's thinking possibly global. Now, here's the good news. As your family goal now keep expanding, what you realize is that because you are running a bigger vision, you will always be financially capable of handling the expanding family goals or family bills or family responsibilities. Does that make sense at all? Is this making sense? Right? So that is the very key thing we want to add. So once I have this goal, in my own case, 200 estate, this and that, assign my own, I'll be able to, my family can now live in Banana Island, right? We can buy a house in Banana Island, we can live there and all those stuff. I can also add to say, I want to send 1 million kids to school, which is my goal, right? I want to be able to build the best university and the largest university in the world, and I want to be able to make sure 50% of the people there are on scholarship, right? They are bursary. Do you see those kind of vision? And when you are thinking that way, each time your bills keep going, it will just be chicken change, right? Because you're already chasing something way, 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 way bigger. Way bigger, way out, and you're already on that journey. So you will never find yourself in a situation whereby your family goals are overwhelming. And for some of us who have, parents who we can say were not rich, like myself, that was the problem. My fathers used to brag when I was growing up. I was the first in our family to have a car. Guess what type of car? B2. I was the first to have a motorbike, Suzuki 180. You see the mistake he made? Those were the goals. And as at that time, that was all. Unfortunately, he had 5 children. Unfortunately, the bills kept growing higher. And by the time we were grown up, we knew my dad to be a poor man. And, in fact, I used to why must you have children if you can't take care of them? Maybe that's why I have only 3 now. Right? Because, you grow up just saying, why must they, just keep having children? If they couldn't have taken care of me, why do they have me? That used to be my frustration. But when they tell you their story, they will tell you that they achieved what nobody in their lineage achieved, and you are making a mockery of it. But the reality was that all their goals, all their vision were very much personal. You can sit beside him, sir. Hello, sir. You can sit beside him. Right? All their goals and vision were so personal, were so family-wise, that he never was able to catch up. Okay? Also, one of the things also that I think we should take seriously as we begin to think of investment goals is to also have what I call an investment mentor. Okay? This is one of the biggest secrets of my life. And I keep changing my mentor as my visions grow bigger. So I'll give you an example. My first set of investment mentors were millionaires in dollars. Okay? But at the moment, I'm richer than those mentors. And right now, I needed millionaires, billionaires in dollars. So I had to now start looking for a Grant Cardone, a Cosmos, Maduka, right, who have done it. And some of you probably will have seen me having sessions with Dr. Cosmos, right? Because at this moment, you now need, listen, it's not by theory anymore, right? If you have not done it, you've not done it. And it's not about Harvard. It's not, Dr. Cosmos never even went to university. But the guy's business over $1 billion, right? So it's practical here. And anybody who has not been there at this level cannot give you a sound advice of how to get there. So where many of us again miss it in this investment vision, investment journey, is at some point we start growing. But guess what? We become the richest of all our colleagues. I remember the lady who took Bishop TDGX to one of the wealthiest guys in America. And Bishop TDGX said this to the man. He said, I need you in my circle. I have a problem. I am the richest. That is an issue. So right now, I'm beginning to intentionally go and meet. It was Bishop TDGX. I went to meet the guy, not... right? Right now, I'm intentionally going to what? Meet people who are what? Who are way bigger. In fact, right there while they were having dinner, right? This guy closed a transaction while they were having dinner of $100 million. In fact, Bishop was just doing like, I need you in my life. I need you in my life. Like, I need you. So many times, many of us get to that peak period, our peak level, and we're not saying, this is dangerous. For me to be the richest or successful of everybody around me is dangerous. Can I intentionally? So for me, it's cost me a lot. I had to start paying my way through because, of course, some of these people didn't even know me. I wasn't from a rich home, or they will have known maybe boss. So I had to intentionally go out of my way, start looking for millionaires in dollars that I could get close to and can begin to advise me. So have investment mentors who are way richer than you do. And if for any reason you get to a point where you are richer than them, you don't stop the mentorship, but look for another category of guys who are richer, right? So that you do. Are we together now to where you are, and not that you're getting advice? Yes, this is somebody who got you here, but what is he has to do this here? Because the goal of mentorship is that you should be bigger than your mentor. I hope we all know that, right? Anybody you decide to try to learn from, the goal is to be bigger than them. And if they understand mentorship, that should be their desire. A lot of time when I meet my mentees, I'm frustrated because I realize that many of them don't know that they are supposed to be bigger and better version of me. Okay? And so when I see how slow they are, I'm like, if I am at this level, and you can see how much I'm putting in, right? You are way, way below me. And I see what you're putting in. How do you get to where I am and even do better? Okay? How? So please, if you don't have any, get somebody who's an investment mentor. invest time, chase them. It's never easy. I've never found it easy to, all these guys I'm talking about today, it's never been easy to get them. Okay, but it's me that I'm looking for something. I'm the one that need their help. It's not the other way. And that's why as I now get closer, the last time I was with Dr. Cosmos, I brought 2 deals. 2 people wanted to buy Rolls Royce. Right? Just to make sure that relationship is not just one way, right? So from looking for clients, from patronizing them, whatever I can add from my end to make sure it's also there's a value added to those people, and it's not just that I'm taking their time, they're giving me counsel, and they're not getting anything. So I've always said this: why many people can't attract big time mentors is because they don't understand that it's never going to be free. You either pay or you serve. One of those two. But you not just get somebody to wake up and leave their own business and say, oh, now they're sitting down on you all the time. No, that's why they write books. That's why they have videos. That's why they have courses. That's why they have seminars. Go and consume those stuff. But you want a customized private moment, one-on-one. It's either you pay or you serve. Right? So, for example, some of my team here in Dubai are here by the virtue of their serving. Right? We couldn't have organized a dinner and they won't be here. Do you see the advantage of either you pay or you serve? But you want to get an investment mentor. And then the last thing before I start taking our contribution and questions, feel free, if you have questions or contribution, please feel free to add. And this is very important, is focus in investment and yet diversify. So you want to have focus, okay, but yet what? Diversify. So here's my example. My focus when it comes to investment is real estate. Do I do crypto? Yes. Do I do forex? Yes. But honestly, it's not even up to 1% of my wealth. Because day one, I know those are gambling. It works, thank God. We pull it out and put it somewhere. It doesn't work. Investment vehicle, because you must have an investment vehicle. You must have one. So for you, it's hospital, real estate. Some other people have given examples of different investment vehicles. You must have one. So, but be focused. So don't do real estate as your investment vehicle. At the same time, you're trying to chase oil and gas. At the same time, you're trying. I know how many people have put pressure on me, come and do oil and gas. And I say, honestly, I don't know anything about oil and gas. And I'm not interested. Now, does it mean I will never do oil and gas? No. If today I meet a friend I can trust, integrity-wise and everything, I'd rather partner with the person, give the person my money. You go and use your head and be cracking how the business works. My own is just, let me be getting my returns. Right? But I don't want to start cracking how to make an oil and gas business work at this phase of my life. It's too much distraction. And I've seen people lose so much money because of this kind of nonsense. Right? Or you are doing oil and gas, suddenly now you say, oh, I must, and then you are chasing too many things. However, how do you then diversify if you are focused? So in my case is that, how did I diversify? I'm heavily invested in real estate in Nigeria, but yet heavily invested in Dubai, in the UK, and now in the US. We just acquired 54-acre property in Dallas, Texas. It's going to cost over $100 million to build that estate. We're having single-family home, multiple-family homes, and commercial in that area. Okay? But you see how I'm diversifying now. So what is that? If anything happens suddenly to my African investment, okay, maybe the government doesn't like my face or whatever, who knows? Okay? I have 3 other regions, from Dubai to UK to US, that I'm also invested in. Is this making sense at all? It's the same thing. Aside even that, it's that, okay, I'm invested in land banking. Okay? That's my primary vehicle. But at the same time, I'm also doing rental income. At the same time, I'm doing real estate investment trust, which is that I'm just only putting my money and I'm getting regular returns. I'm not involved in the day-to-day of how they are building the house or buying the land. No. So you want to have that kind of diversification even though you are focused. So look at your sector. How do I diversify, right? But yet, I'm on this same sector. Else, I will, be all spread so thin. I mean, but you say, how about Dangote? Dangote is the same. Manufacturing, that's the core. That's the core sector. And even as at Dangote's level, he sold his spaghetti in flour business now, right? I'm told there are some other investment he's selling as well, just to concentrate in cement and oil and gas that is giving him majority of the revenue. So we have to understand the place of being focused even when we are diversifying. Very, very important. And then lastly is always be careful about the return on investment. The biggest challenge people have, particularly people from our part of the world, is we are always wanting to have huge returns. And it has been the major reasons where we have an investment curve that is like this. When many of us can do a graph of our investments like this, very sharp, ups, down, and it's sharp. It's not even like no, boom, right? Because we just go all in, high risk, right? Then we lose money, then, we are humble a bit. Then again, at some point, this once, all die and I die, like we say. We go again, all in. Then at some point again, you don't want to do that. There was a video, I wish they didn't have a projector here, I will have played the video for you. And I've been sharing this with a lot of my students. Mike Tyson was sharing the secret of how he's been able to live this lavish, luxurious life. That his first investment was a real estate investment trust, like the one Gvest does, right? Gvest is a cooperative society for investors. You're able to put in your money, we go ahead and take the risk, and we give you a return. So Mike Tyson put in $5 million was his first that he did in his own investment company that he worked with. And guess what? They were giving him $50,000, okay? Which is, in a year, 50,000 times 12 is how much? Huh? 600,000, right? Is that correct? So they were giving him 600,000 a year. Out of how much? Huh? Out of 5M. Are we sure it's 600,000? 600. Okay. So what is the percentage of 600,000 to 5 million? That's about 1.something%. Right? About 1.2 or 1.something%, right? Now, how many of you agree with me that most Africans will not do this? Right? Most of us will not do this because it's too small in our eyes. Like we're gonna be like, because this is like in a year, this giving him like about 12% in a year. Yeah, about 12% in a year. So most of us will say, no, I'm not going to do that. But guess what? He kept doing it. In fact, as of today, according to, Floyd Mayweather, not Mike Tyson. Floyd Mayweather. That's why he calls himself Money Mayweather. So Floyd, as of today, said he has put in over, guess what? 100 million. Aha. Are we seeing that it's now getting interesting, isn't it? What is the 12% of 100 million? Anybody do the math? 12% of 100 million. So is about just the compound interest and the consistency of it. Huh? That's how much? 12 million. Ladies and gentlemen, who amongst us here cannot survive on a $12 million a year. Meanwhile, your original money is still intact. And it's just coming and coming and coming. So, my advice is watch the ROI, right? And I don't care whether the person in charge is a religious leader, is a pope, is a bishop, is a godly man, because that's also where we miss it, right? We get into all these sentiments. I know him. He's a pastor. He's a imam. He's a pope. That's not the issue. What we are saying is that any ROI that is higher than certain amount is not guaranteed. It's not. At some point, look at Nigeria. When we started giving our returns and we said we cannot give more than certain percentage, we give between 18 and 25%. I remember how many people said no, nobody will invest with you. Well, we're okay with the little we invested, because despite the inflation in Nigeria, right, we have kept our word. Every of our investors keep getting their money. Imagine the pressure we will be under, and the story will now need to start telling people who they won't want to listen. That hey, inflation in Nigeria is this. Please try and understand. No, they won't hear that. So always go for returns on investment that is realistic, right? No matter the inflationary issue, the recession. For us is that we knew that no matter what, we will be able to meet up those amounts, right? And it was easy to keep our integrity. And that's why today I fly all over the world. I'm not under any pressure. If you even call my phone now, I can block you, even if you are my customer, right? Because we have an office, we have a team, we have a business, and they are there supporting all our customers every day, right? And we make sure what we are giving is sustainable. Are we together now? And not what puts us under undue pressure, and then we end up running into issues. Have we gotten value at all? Okay, thank you once again for coming. I hope you enjoy your meal. I'll take your comments if you want to add. We are all here to learn. If you also have questions for me, I will be excited to answer all your questions. Thank you once again for coming. I really appreciate all of you for coming. Please come in. Yes. You want to start first?
It's more of looking at the investments in Dubai. There was a program you did, list it, high UK, US, in Dubai, and all that. But I wanted to know what is the ROI in those different countries. Which ones do you have? Then what would be your advice on them? Because just like you said, the idea is not to, I don't live here, I live in Nigeria. So the idea is to see how you diversify your investments so that if something happens, at least you know that you still have investments in other places. So I think that would be the first question.
Okay. Very, very good question. So I can even answer that at the moment. The return on investment outside Nigeria, Dubai is the first highest. Okay? Partly because Dubai is not, even as with all the beauty you see in Dubai, the market isn't yet as mature as UK. Remember, UK real estate market is over 200 years old, right? So Dubai gives you higher returns compared to the UK. Higher returns guaranteed compared to the UK. However, the UK serves a unique purpose. and I'll explain. For people who are sending their kids to school, you know your kids at some point will go to school in the UK. Many of us, or many of such people, choose to invest in real estate in the UK so that you already have rental income coming in, and by the time your children are schooling there, you are not changing naira, into pounds to send your kids to school. It will just be what the tenants are paying that you are just using to pay the tuition fee of a lot of people are having to do this in the UK and in the US, right? Also is the fact that, again, it's way older and mature market. Even when it falls, it doesn't crash. The way Dubai crashed during the 2008 crisis, right? UK did not crash that to that level. Again, the rules are, the higher the risk, the higher the returns. The lower the risk, the lower the returns. So the crash in the UK is never as big as it will, even if it's a global crash, right? It has a way of enduring. But Dubai has also stepped up their game a lot in trying to make sure there are a lot of structure to avoid such sharp fall, and that's why they set up RERA, a lot of agencies that just try to monitor how people, the volume of rent you take, how much you can increase rent, how much you can sell a house, all those things Dubai government had to put in place just to checkmate in case of recession. You don't have that sharp drop in ROI. But yes, Dubai is number one, followed by US, followed by UK. US will even give you more returns than the UK. UK is very conservative in returns when it comes to rental and even capital appreciation. But ultimately, the good news is that this is pounds we are talking about. This is dollars we are talking about. So you can't go wrong. 20 years from now, let's even say all the appreciation is 50%. You know what that is in dollars. You understand? So you can't go wrong either way. But what I always do with my clients, and we can always do that privately, is to know your budget. Budget helps in advice. Okay, it's when I know the budget, I can say, okay, let's do this percentage in Dubai, let's do this percentage in the UK, let's do this percentage in the US, and let's still do this percentage in Nigeria. Because till today, what I'm making in terms of ROI in Nigeria is still way more. In other words, the land that I'm buying today for, let's say, okay, let me give the previous experience. Land that I bought for 750,000 about 7 years ago are currently going for 10 million. That can happen in Dubai. That can happen in UK. That can happen in US. So no matter what, I'm still not going to leave my expansion in Africa. You get the point now. Not in real estate. Other sectors, yes, but not in real estate. And the reason why is because what drives real estate growth is population growth, right? In Africa, we're still having 5 children. Some people are having 10. Some are even, in fact, in the northern part of Nigeria, for example, men pride in how many children. There was a National Assembly member who showed that he had 29 children. It was a thing of pride. Yeah. So, in such a place, your real estate will keep going up in a non-explain. I once heard the EFC's chairman in Nigeria was saying that why has real estate never crashed? Again, if you are not an expert of an industry, don't just talk, right? It's because the population in China is aging because they have restricted the number of children you can have. Population in Europe, population in America is aging because people, in their own case, they didn't restrict the population, but the LGBTQ growth led to that. I don't know how you understand, because as people start LGBT, they are not focused on having children. So now they are not having a growing population. So the current Washington Post research, Washington Post, not Nigerian Post, Washington, said that Lagos will be the largest city in the whole of the world by the year 2100. That's 70 something years from now. Right? That Lagos will be bigger than New York, will be bigger than, why? Population growth. And the space is small. So you will be foolish to say, oh, because we don't know where election is going. Oh, because we don't know how our political leaders are doing, I will no longer invest in Nigeria. Like, it will be the biggest mistake of your life. Because, and this is how, years from now, I say, oh, and I saw my dad. Why I'm this courageous is my dad's story. Because my dad grew up in the northern part of Nigeria, and because he wasn't from there, he didn't invest that much. He was into building, but in his mind, I'm not from here. And one day, these people, something can go on. I'm like, now we grew up, we're tenants, right? Until recently, I had to build a house for my dad. My dad was still a tenant. Like, no. If he had invested that season when he was doing well, all that would have happened, he would sell it when he was relocating back, right? And go and build whatever I need to build where he is from. But you see how we make those mistakes. Because things are not stable, we are scared, and then years later, so my dad will now be telling me story, this is my friend, we used to be mates, but he's richer than me now. I don't want to hear those stories that touch, right? And we don't want to say the same to our own children. And start telling them, I used to know that man, or used to be my friend. You know how many people used to say that now? I used to know Dangote. Dangote and I, we've taken picture, but it's bigger. Who asked you to remain small? Like, you could have catch up. There's a popular statement that there are no classmates in life. In life, everybody determines their class. That you and somebody went to school, you are classmates. Yes, that happened in school. But in real life, there's no such thing. And in the classmate of life is relative to your constant growth and evolution. So today you may be at the table with a Dangote, tomorrow you cannot near it because you haven't grown your wealth. You didn't take the level of risk. I laugh when I see some of us as Africans speak in a certain way. I'm like, don't you know a Dangote is from Kano and his biggest investment worth $16 billion is in Lagos? If he can make that kind of risk, what are you talking about? Right? I've seen some of my brothers from the East give this kind of story. I'm like, who do you think own Lagos? Why do you think some political parties are scared of Igbos in Lagos? If they don't own the assets in Lagos, you think they will be scared? Why would they? Is it not their land? Right? So it is you, the poor man. I live in Banana. Who owns Banana? Who are the guys who? Even the association of Banana Islands, the people who run it are Igbos. Because, so it's the poor man, right, that is saying, oh, I'm Biafran, I will not buy land in certain parts of Nigeria. Go and ask your brothers who are richer than you where their investments are. Now it's you that you are making all those sentimental. Your brothers are not, right? So I hope I've been able to answer. I know some we can discuss privately, and my team are here as well. The Dubai branch manager is here, so she can walk you on the numbers. Absolutely.
Okay, the other one. Well, I don't know. You've done a great job, in terms of the education, your post, and all that. I'm just thinking. Well, it's, most times you see what is working, but it's difficult to get more people. Like if you call for a party, of course this needs to be filled up. But if you are calling for investment on what will work, you get very few numbers. I'm just thinking if there are still a way to help people who are leaving school, also those who are doing business but they are just starting up, in terms of channeling their mindset towards land banking. I've watched you, I've watched so many other people, and maybe I was lucky to have started maybe a little bit earlier, but the Lekki corridor, I didn't know how good it was until people have been talking to me over several years, until a close friend of mine, 3 years, we didn't see for 3 years, and after that we now saw, and we started talking by 9 o'clock at night. We were just discussing, and we finished by 12:30, and from 12:30 till the next one I didn't sleep, because he now told me how much he has made, and we used to live not far from each other, and he has moved to the island too. And he brought me to show me, we came to his house, and it was like a car garage where they are selling cars. And he shared the same story that when he was in mainland, we go to Thanksgiving by buying tokumo.
Yeah.
But when he came to the island, the boys taught him that it's brand new you buy.
Yeah.
And the rate at which the appreciation is unimaginable.
Mm-hmm.
And I also started speaking there with a lot of people who are doing that. And they keep confirming the same thing. You buy a place, November 5 million, in less than 1 year, it's already 12 million. So it's already 12, 15 million. And if you have 1 hectare,
exactly.
you have 10 hectares.
Yeah.
So similar things you were sharing.
Yeah.
You sell some, used to be the
Yeah.
I don't know how it's just a way, because there's a lot of people who are making a lot of big mistakes to help them out, because the returns is something else. And this guy shared with me, within just 3 years, he has been able to build a lot in terms of the assets he has had, where he bought, the appreciation and all that. Maybe I'll allow other people to talk too.
Yeah, you're very right, and we've helped a lot of people. Like some of those who are here are investors. My pastor in my church here in Dubai is here, Pastor Emmanuel. Can we clap for him? One of the places he invested is currently valued at 35 million. And I don't know when he invested there, maybe it was 7 or 9 million when. How much was the value then? 10 million when he got it. And this less than 2 years. Right? Less than 2 years. So there are a lot of people who have taken advantage. We just deliver his own house here in Dubai, Abi, Mr. Lee. Right. So I think it's even why I decided to say we'll start doing this dinner every quarter, bringing some of our investors. Like we're going to do London version, we're going to do US when I get to US, so that people can also start seeing some of those who have. Because it's a different thing. When I started, it used to be, this guy's mouth is too sweet. Where's the proof that he's rich? Now that I live in Burj Khalifa and Banana Island, they don't ask those questions again. The new question is now, who are those he has helped? All this sudden, we don't even know if whether it's even money laundry is doing. All these people. So I said, no problem. We'll start doing dinners where some of our investors can come. I use that to even share and mentor them more. And then at the same time, people can see that these things there are people benefiting. It's not some mystical theories and it's real. Now, it's also not that easy. It's not as if it's easy to start parting away with your money. Particularly because some of my investors are salary earners as well. They are professionals. So to contribute that money, some of them, it took them almost a year. It took, small. But today now they can look back and say, wow, thank God I took that risk. Thank God I just jumped in. I wasn't too sure. I know how sometimes I meet some of my investors who are close to me. And they're like, hey, I don't even know when how I'll pay the next installment, but I believe in God. I said, don't worry, I'm trusting God for you too. But today, these people now fully own the property, right? So it's not easy, and I know I'm doing my best to keep teaching it. I'm probably the biggest African doing this, okay, the biggest. My other colleague is maybe Vusi, and Vusi is more of tech, startup VC thing, which I'll even be working with him very soon on that, because I want to go into supporting a lot of startups, and I'll soon start doing a lot of stuff in that area. But in terms of real estate investment, I'm the biggest in terms of teaching it, sharing life stories of how I've done it. You'll be shocked how far I have mentees. I was in Kenya the other day. One of my mentees who started real estate development through what he learned from me took me to his estate in Kenya. I was like, wow. There's another one in Cameroon. Big, doing big stuff. So this has really turned to a movement, actually. It's turned to a movement, and it's only going to get stronger and stronger, particularly as a lot of my mentees get bold enough to acknowledge their investment. Because in Africa we are scared. We think some people will chase us. We think witches from the village, and I may prove that witches from the village will not chase if they have not chased me. Right? And instead, I've attracted more partners, more investors. There's no way our business will have grown this big if we had not had other people investing in it. And the only reason they were able to invest was because I was bold enough about what I was doing. If I kept making it a secret, right, there's no way we will have grown it, and there's no way we will have empowered more people. So all I did, because yes, how do you manage family pressure? All I did in my own case is
I've been able to get 1 or 2 properties, and by the time I suddenly realized that, do you mean I am the owner of this thing? As a matter of fact, when I wanted to start, I said, because I wasn't sure when I will leave, I said, what happened now that you have a non-refund policy? Can we, in case I'm not able to complete it? But he said, why not just start? And I started, and I was able to complete it, and that opened my eyes to other opportunities. But there's something else that my coming around also helped me with. He talked about some of these schemes promising you 40% return on investment. Suddenly my eyes got opened. And though I did some 1 or 2 investments here and there, but it would have been worse. Because some of those guys, they just faded away the same way as if it's a template.
Yeah.
They will give you the first one, then after the first one, you drag with the second one, and the third one, you just go to the website, you won't see them again. So, but that understanding, I said no, I was able to have a very strong balance. So I didn't fall victim of going ahead to invest more in it. And these few years I stayed in Dubai, it has actually helped me. And coming up with some other properties that one can even go ahead with, residual income, like having rental properties and all that. It's been amazing, and I want to say thank you. By reason of the kind of assignments I do, I don't know how far this video can get to. Not that we don't want to say it, but for some obvious reasons. But sincerely, I want to appreciate you. I want to appreciate all that you're doing, and at the same time, I like to let you know that there are people you are impacting. By the grace of God, I talk to almost 1,000 people every Sunday, more than 1,000 people, and the impact, some of the things I learned, I've been able to communicate it through to them, and they equally have been blessed, and so many great things have been happening. Even now that I had to, probably change location, you could hear their testimonies, and not only just scriptural things, but balanced life.
Yeah. I watched some of it.
I've had instance to call some people individually to speak to them, and now, like my brother said, some persons have been here, and that's the truth. Yeah. Some persons have been here 10 years, There is nothing, nothing. There's a young man along the line, this COVID stuff, he lost his job, got back home. There was nowhere he could stay. And he has been here working in the bank for about 8 years. He got back home and somehow he had to get money, to borrow money to return to Dubai to start another job search. And he said something to me, he said, sir, do you know what's going on in Nigeria? I said, what about? He said, if you have somebody that dares you 5,000 naira, that person is really a good person. And, but thinking about it, he stayed there for 11 years. When he got back home, he had to rent a house to stay. So now there's nothing, so he had to come back and say, okay, even if he stayed in partition, at least now I've learned my lesson. Let's see if God will give me a second chance. So, in summary, what I'm trying to say is all that you're doing, we quite appreciate it. We are learning, and what we are learning has really profited us. Not just me, but a lot of persons around me are not. I want to say thank you. Thank you for the good work. The Lord will continue to increase you in Jesus' precious. That's just my form of appreciation.
So that's Pastor Emmanuel. He's the national pastor, Winners Chapel International, UAE. Thank you, sir, for that comment. And yes.
Hi. So on my story, it's quite funny because I've never met Doctor before. This is my first time. I didn't even know this was happening. This is an opportunity for me. I just came in and I saw Doctor and I said hi. Some years back, probably around 2012, I think, I applied in GTEX Homes.
Oh.
I didn't even know you were the man and vision behind it. I didn't know anything. I only knew that there was GTEX Homes and GTEX Home was doing something. And I applied for a managerial, I think it was a project manager position then, which I know very well that I hope, because of my experience here, I would have been able to. But by the time I applied, they said it had already been taken. So I was like, okay, fine. Maybe I just keep looking. Funny enough, I found, your Instagram page and so many things and YouTube videos, and I've been, I just pop in from time to time and I look at what you're saying. So, but he spoke something about land banking for especially the young ones like us. And what he's saying is actually, I can confirm with it because I have friends who are into the real estate business back then who were asking me to buy also in Lekki. So, if now, because from what I've noticed, from what people have been saying here, that of course, that starting point is usually very difficult, especially for salary. I'm a professional as well, so I'm a salary earner as well. Especially for salary earners, by the time you look at what you need to send back home, your fees here, your whatever you need to set up here, how much is left for you to invest. Now there's something that they call a SACCO. It's very common in Kenya, where it's kind of like a crowdfunding. I don't know if GTEX Home has a plan like that. So it allows even for at least the most common person, let's say the security guard or something, even if his salary is about 2,000 dirhams per month, he can take out like maybe 800 dirhams per month and still put it in that crowdfunding, and maybe in 6 months time he can get back 1,500, So I don't know if there's something like that, because coupled with his idea, if there's some sort of crowdfunding, because he was saying he wanted people who are coming out of school.
Yeah.
And people who are coming out of school don't have as much money as already salary earners. So if there's some sort of crowdfunding that allows for young people like us to, invest in the Gvest and still try to get something out. That was my question about that.
Thank you for that. A very good question. Actually, that's still where we are going. However, we cannot start now. And the reason is because many people have sold their name when it comes to investment, rush into doing all this, invest any amount. And what that does is that it attracts, I just told you, somebody was paying for something and was literally on her neck because he paid 35 million or something. Now imagine a security man, right? And when you go that low, you now have volume. You can't have that kind of confirmation one-on-one, telling him, hey, give us some time to confirm that your payment got in, right? You won't have that when you are doing mass market. I don't know that so you can easily soil your reputation overnight. So what we are trying to do is take it one step at a time. We now have a mobile app. We are testing the app. We hope all of you have an account. If you're a member of Gvest, go create your account if you don't. Let's grow it over time. And let's also grow the brand. We want to grow to a point that there's a name where if you say, oh, I invested in this company, or even people will tell you that, no, go and meet them. They have that reputation, right? So if we rush things, and in business, all you have is your name, is your reputation. So intentionally, we are not doing certain low-level deals because we want to carefully build that brand to a point where, I mean, it's just like in, if you say EcoBank swindled you, won't people tell you, no, go to the nearest EcoBank office. This is a legitimate bank. Talk to them. Maybe something is wrong somewhere. So that's the level we want to grow the brand to before we start doing something way low. So that, two poor people can't help themselves. One must get to the top first before he throws the rope to help the other. So for us, is our brand must get to the top before we now say, okay, yes, how many people can we pull up? But for now, we are still in that neighborhood of $10,000 you can work with us, right? Or 10 million Nigerian naira you can work with us. There was a time we even made it as low as 500,000, but we really still just don't want to attract that market yet. We're sure we're not ready for that. So for now, it's 10 million, or $10,000. I'll give you an example. Our investments in the US now, we need to raise $200 million, okay, for the entire building we're doing in Dallas. Now, how many, even the 10,000, how many $10,000 will give you 200 million? Right? Like, how many? So even for that project now, we've not launched it yet, but when we launch it, it's minimum of $250,000, right? Just so that we can move fast. Else we just drag and So I understand we need to help as many of our people, and that's why I'm investing a lot in training and teaching them. Because you could also buy a plot from us, and you can pay in that kind of installment. Start with that one. Buy a land, right? The land banking thing works. The only rule is do not rush to buy from people who are not credible, right? A lot of those, for example, who are rushing to buy in Ibejuleki after they heard the corridor was doing well. Many bought properties that didn't have a good document, or there's even no chance that the document will be legit. Many bought properties that it's 5 people that own that same one property, right? So as much as something is good, you also want to be sure you're working with the right partners who, they may look like, people will say GTES is expensive. Yes, we're expensive because we needed to, there's a lot of overhead costs to do our due diligence and make sure that whatever we're giving to you, right, is real and is legit. And we don't come back and say, oh, we are sorry, we can't keep to our word. Okay? And what people don't know is that you eventually spend, like one of the properties, pastor invested in, as I speak to you, we as a company were at a loss on that property. Because those who bought it at that lower amount, what we had to put in is more than what people paid. We had to fence the entire land round. We've had to do interlocking. We've had to, you understand? So what we have, and yet we still need over $1 billion to see complete that project. You see the point? So, and yet some people felt it was expensive. But it's because there were some people we met there who till today have not put one block on their land. And we're selling it cheap. We have had to fence, we have had to develop, we have had to
all that is still a cost on us. And that's why their own land won't appreciate, ours has appreciated because of what we've had to spend on that property. So it's important that people know that anybody who is confident to charge you a lot is because of what they know they want to do. Right? The confidence to charge is often a function of my ability and willingness to deliver. It's just how the rule work. So look at Emma, for example. Emma is one of the most arrogant developers you'll find in Dubai. Okay? And it's because they know that anything they promise you, they can deliver it. They are semi-government. Even if it means them running to a loss, the government will bail them out. Right? So they're not as hungry, as in a hurry as any other developer. They are solid. They are okay. They are Emma. So that's also how you want to choose investment. Don't rush into people who are desperate for your money and end up will not be able to deliver because they themselves haven't built that base for their business to a point where they are solid. But hopefully very soon we'll start doing what you ask us to do. What we're investing even now is to encourage people to start what call mini estates. Because imagine if Pastor had bought an acre in that same place I told you now, you will need to pay at least 35 million to get the land. So imagine he did 1 acre or 2 acre or 5 acre or 10 acre. He's an owner of a mini estate. He can sell half of it at a higher price, isn't it? Use the money and build houses there and start selling those houses or rent out those houses. So what we're encouraging people to do now is say, instead of buying retail, in fact, from next year, mother company GTEX Homes will no longer even sell retail. We're only going to be selling 1 acre or 5 acre or 10 acre, so that people can start their own mini estates. And with that, we will handle all the money, all the less fancy round. Or you buy it, you start building houses, and even it's a win-win relationship because you will be able to focus on building the houses, right? While we make sure we protect your land for you, right? And that, nothing touch the property you bought. And the estate also will develop faster, yeah. Okay? But don't worry, very soon. But I promise you can afford to buy a land. Start with a land. You are from Kenya? Oh, okay. But your wife is from Kenya? Zimbabwe, okay. But soon to be your wife.
No, I tell you how funny this situation is.
Yes.
This is the first time I'm meeting her.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said today is just like a very, very open heaven kind of day.
Yes.
Put it that way.
Oh,
Very
good.
open heaven kind of
Good.
day. It's my first time.
I would love to hear that you met me for the first time, you met your wife for the first time. Maybe years from now.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Don't mind me. I like to put mature singles under pressure. Like, go get married, go get married. Because men are scared of getting married nowadays. I don't know why. As you preach it, a lot of men are scared of getting married. But I'm putting pressure on them. Go get married, go get married. But sometimes, honestly, women have a way. I'm not sure I would have come this far if I wasn't married. Women have a way of helping you to be focused, and you just, there's a level of growth, even though being married means more pure, but sometimes you just realize that you even have faster growth when you are married because you are not focused. You're a lot more, and responsibility dawns on you that look, I'm having a family now. I have to do something. What happened? I'm speaking your story. The story of your life. And responsibility done. Baby's on the way. And you are like, oh, Lord of mercy. Lord, have mercy on me. But I think it's just a phase. If you can weather that phase, the rest will be history. I went through that as well. We had our first baby. There was nothing in the house. In fact, they named me, and then I used to pastor, Winners Chapel. Remember, our welfare our welfare secretary came to me. I said, Pastor, how are we going to do naming of your baby? I said, well, when the founder of this church did the naming of his son, he only used cabin biscuits and Chapman. So I said, mine won't be the first naming that there is no food. So don't worry, relax. I'm telling you the true story, right? And I finally was able to get, my mother-in-law brought a bag of rice. Some people started bringing gifts. I got about 8,000. So I remember 2 days to the naming, I just held her hand and put it. And you know when you're a pastor, your naming is not like your name is like the church naming. So I put the 8,000 naira into her hand and I say, whatever it does, God bless you. I won't be disappointed. What's important is to give the baby a name. I'm not under any pressure. So that's how we name our first child. But that same child is in fact, sometimes when he behaves somehow, like it's so butty, I'm like, when we gave birth to you, right? The way you are acting like you are the one that we gave birth to him penury. So I don't know why you're acting like this. He's the one that is finicky and acts like, I'm like, no, we didn't give birth to him wealth. But today the story has changed. So just dive into it. Don't be scared of getting married. Okay. Thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate you. We can take pictures now, right?
Yep.
You want to say, okay, let's take his own and then we'll take yours.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the privilege and the opportunity for me to be here in person. My wife couldn't come because she had a webinar presentation, so she had to do that. Why I come. So that's why
I do business.
That's why she couldn't be here at the moment. So we really appreciate and do not take it for granted for granting us the permission to be here with you. Today being the first time I'm seeing you in person, but it doesn't also seem like the first time.
Yes.
Because it looks like we've been together for long.
Yes.
I watch your videos
a
lot.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really feel like I'm seeing you for the first time. So that's
nice meeting you.
Thank you very much.
And it's amazing how you are like that. Most of my customers, 90% of them, I've never met them. Like he's bought a property from us here in Dubai and I'm meeting for the first time. He works with our team. And that's one of the things I encourage our investors and work with us. We have a professional. Did they treat you well? That's the question I should ask.
Of course.
Did my team treat you well?
Of course.
We have a team of professionals.
And personally, let me say, let me also appreciate Abisola also. Because it won't be unfair if I did not mention her name. Yeah, she's been very supportive. That is just the truth. Because I also disturb her a little. So she's very supportive. So thank you very much. All right. Another angle I want to say is this. I learned a lot today. Just the few minutes we had, I learned a lot. Take for example, you raised a point about land banking and all that. I due to past experiences, if you live in Nigeria a lot, let me just put it that way. And due to a lot, you said something. You said being focused and diversified.
Yes.
We remain focused, but we had to kind of try to diversify because of little other experiences in Nigeria. So that was one of the reasons why most of the time when I see your videos, I just see the word land banking, and if it happens to be in Nigeria, I skip it off. I just skip it off. But today I had a rethink while listening to what he said, and while listening to you, I was ruminating. I was having a rethink in my mind that even though you don't really get to understand the deep details about things, you shouldn't just ignore the knowledge.
Yeah.
Yes, I got that, and I bet you once I get to, I'm going to watch those old videos. That's just the truth. I'm going to watch those old videos because I need to re-educate myself in that line. I had some experiences, and for God, it was because of God that made us not to lose that investment on that land. We had to take back. That was my first
land
experience, yes, with lawyers, with, the homonyless and a whole lot of. But it took God that we didn't lose that land, and it happens to be in a very prime area in Ondo State. All right. So because of those experiences, we had to no, and that was one of the reasons that made us become a part of Gvest. So we thought, okay, we are still, while we remain focused, we can still diversify by investing into Gvest. Yeah. So that was like our first deal and all that. And I think we made the right choice, you understand? And I think, like what I said, I'm going to unlearn and relearn certain things, while still remain focused, look into the land banking. So thank you for sharing more in depth into that. And like the assignment I gave myself, I'll still go back and relearn other things. Let me quickly be fast so I wouldn't take much of our time. I am a kind of person, my business deals around referrals. Yes, I wouldn't know if Gvest has any plan or currently anything relating to the referral system for Gvest. I don't know if we plan to do that or we already have that. That would be my question on that. Okay, so
we have that, absolutely. We give 2% on anybody you refer for Gvest in terms of investment. We give is it 20% on membership referral, but if they invest any money, you get 2% or whatever they invested. So we currently have that. Though what we are now doing is to automate that process such that the way we did for GTEX homes, like in GTEX home, if you refer anybody, you have your own link. It will even show in the dashboard that they came through you. We're currently working on that. But yes, we do that. People are free to refer people, and you get 2% of what they gain. We don't give that crazy kind of, because we need to invest their money and get returns to be able to give them back. So we can't just when I see people who say, bring somebody to us and then we'll give you 10% of what they invested, like how? These are things I struggle to, how did you do that number? If you already took 10% to give the person who brought that person. It's different from when you buy land, we give you 10%. When you refer somebody for land. But that one is land. We factor everything in. But investments that we are still having to use that money to go and trade. Isn't it? And it's when hopefully we're able to trade and make enough profit that we're supposed to then give the person return. If we're already taking 10% of what we're supposed to go and use to trade, and we're giving you for referring someone, the investments start having crack from day one. So what we do is we give 2% for that. But membership fee, what the person used to register as a member, you get up to 20% of that.
All right. So lastly, I look forward because I've said this before now, probably between one or two conversations with Bisola. I said I look forward to a time where we'll be able to have a meeting. I have a couple of few network which I also want to bring a deal. Let me put it that way. Like you say, it's either you when you want to improve your network, you either bring a deal, you said something like that, and I said that is key. Yes, you bring a deal to open more doors. So I look forward to a time where we'll be able to do that. I have a couple of friends which I know because of you. Also, another thing is the trust factor is key. You understand? And I want us to leverage on that. You are a kind of person that people know and trust. That is just the truth. Now, not because you are here, but that's just the truth. Even while you are not here, I say this a lot. You understand? And that trust can really do a lot. And the transparency and all that is one of the things that close the deal.
Yeah.
You No, I'm the kind of guy, I don't do live like you. I have a friend that argues with me a lot of times. Say, this Stephen, you're always talking about. You two, you should start doing live like him. I said, don't worry. You understand? Probably he's even watching. If we are on live now, probably he's watching me. You will know. You understand? So I look forward to a time we'll be able to do that. I have a couple of friends that would probably want to invest in.
No problem. I will be back in September. We're going to have another dinner. We'll reach out to everyone. You can bring your friends. We'll probably use something bigger. It's going to be this format. Like I said, we want to do more of this. We share, we talk, but it's strictly by invitation. The goal is either you are already an existing investor, or you are the investor and you are trying to bring your friends, and you tell our people and we'll make the arrangement. But it's not open, to people to just badge in, So it's strictly by invitation. But you can work with Abisola and we can invite them now ahead.
Possibly maybe a webinar or something, special webinar for them.
So for your people, because since you do multi-level, we can have a special webinar for all your downlines on educating them.
Most of them are also like internet marketers.
Good.
And
We can do that.
Nigeria,
We can work with Abisola. We can do that in the next 2 weeks. She knows my itinerary. We can do that in the next 2 weeks and update. And we're open to that. Particular webinars, that's easier. Physical, more difficult. But if it's webinar, I know, like we work with a couple of cooperatives, ExxonMobil Cooperative, Nimasa Cooperative. So their president bring their people via webinar, we educate them, and some of them even invest. And you are the leader still get something on every investment that they do with us. We do that, and that's also part of the wisdom. Like I said, wisdom of really becoming wealthy, as you already know in MLM, is leveraging your network. It's not saying. In fact, I tell people there are 3 ways to become rich. Hard work, number 1, and hard work is the lowest of all. Smart work, number 2. Okay? And when you are doing smart work, make sure you add hard work. Where many young people mistake they are making, they want to do smart work, they are not having hard work to it. Right? So you have to add the 2. But the last tier, which is the one that gives you the highest level of income, is network. In fact, somebody said, they said, poor people go to work, rich people build network. Right? Because your first, let's say $1,100,000, right, is going to come from hard work. You working hard, working a company, they promote you, hard work. Your first $1 million will come from, right, from smart work. Yes, I may be working in that company, but I started a subsidiary that's able to bring in even more revenue for the company. Before you know it, they even made me MD of that subsidiary. Suddenly, I'm earning at a higher level, right, in millions of dollars. But guess what? Your first billions, whether in Naira, whether in dollar, whether in Chinese, whatever, will come through network. That's no longer a hard work or smart work conversation. It's who you know. It's simple. It's as simple as that. It's who you know. One of my friend now, I'm now close to him, is Dele Momodu. When he tells me his story with all these rich people from Makadenuga to the kind of gifts they give him, you know what it means to go and greet somebody and you walk out with $200,000 as a gift, not for a job. That's what network will do. Now, what will they now give you when you now do job for them? Right? You understand the dimension we're talking about. So there's a season of your life, hard work will help you. A season, smart work will help you. There's a season, sir, ma, it's purely network. Even it's purely network. Purely network. Even in ministry for those who are pastors, people like that, the GO, Yedepo, the edge they have is that the caliber of sons, right? And those sons may not even be up to 100, but they pay the bills of all the millions who are following them. This is why it's always unfair when you think people at that their level is tight and offering that got them to where they are. No. It's the caliber of network of sons. I know some of my pastors what I drop on a regular basis, me at my level. How much more? Some other people are way richer. Right, so there's a dimension to your life. It's about who you know. Period. No, there's no long thing. There's no waste of time about it. Who do you know? So I'm open to work with your team and share. Why not? Let's do that. Yes, sir. Finally.
Yeah, some of us came late and we didn't know the other people. If they can just
introduce themselves. Why not? Okay. Also, as we wrap up, after we take picture, please let's make sure we interact. Please let me tell Pastor to come so we take pictures. So let's just say our name, then we'll take pictures. And we can.
Maybe what they do so that because I heard somebody.
Your name and what you do. So let's start with you. The lady. Can you hold the mic so we can hear? We didn't hear you.